Hello, 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 everybody. It's Kanisha, the Beauty CPA Coleman, and I help beauty entrepreneurs save money on taxes and CFO services. So I'm coming to you tonight so we can kick off the 7 steps to slay your tax season. Tonight we're going to be talking about step number 1, which is gathering your documents and data. Okay, so let's get right into it, guys. Now, tax season started on the 12th. So we're almost 2 weeks in. Almost 2 weeks in. Um, I have been welcoming new clients to the firm, and everything so far is going pretty smoothly. Like, I am not stressed out at all yet. I'm going to knock on wood. But right now, everything is going pretty smoothly. One of the reasons why it's going this smoothly, though, is because my current and new clients, they have been really coming in together. And what I mean by together is they have been coming in with all of their data and documents. Okay? And when it comes to gathering your documents, that's like half the battle when it comes to tax season, y'all. Is like gathering everything and like answering the tax questionnaire or the tax organizer that your tax professional gives you. That's half the battle. After that's done and you give it to the tax professional, it's pretty much smooth sailing from there. So that's why I thought that this particular step in the tax return preparation timeline or phase, whatever you want to call it, deserved its own session. Because like I said, gathering all the data and all the tax documents, that's half the battle, especially when you have multiple layers to your situation. And on top of that, if you have a spouse, if you're filing jointly, not only are you handling your things, but you probably 9 times 10 doing your spouse's stuff too. Hey, DeAndre girl, you taking care of your spouse's like tax documents too. So yeah, that's like half the battle. So I really wanted to get with y'all today, just for a little bit. It won't take long, just so I can kind of give y'all a overview, right? So again, this is step 1 to 7 steps to slay your taxes. Let me briefly go over 7 steps to slay your taxes. Step number 1. Hey Kim, I see you. Step number 1 is gathering your data and documents, okay? All your business's financial data and all the tax documents that third parties may be sending you in the mail, right? By now, you should have got them. It's like almost the end of February. By now, you should have got everything, okay? Step number 2 is deciding whether you're going to hire a professional or do it yourself. Now, the reason why that's step 2 is because that decision is probably solely based on how much data and how much documents you have, right? If you only got like a W-2, you probably could get away with doing it yourself, right? But if you get all your documents, you got like 5+ documents, plus you got like a business or 2, because I know we got some family umpires out there, plus you got W-2, plus you got unemployment, plus you got, you got all that, and then you realize it once you collect everything, you're probably like, you know what, I'm gonna hire somebody to make sure I'm reporting everything correctly, right? So that's why that's step number 2. After you gather your data and documents, step number 2, you need to look at all that stuff and decide, are you doing it yourself or is you hiring somebody? Okay. Step number 3, and sorry, Instagram, if my camera is funny. I just got a new phone. I got an iPhone. This is the first iPhone I have ever owned, y'all. I never owned an iPhone before, but I got on Team iOS a couple days ago. I haven't left Android yet. I have both. I'm deciding between the 2 right now. Android is still like the spouse, and iPhone right now is like, the side piece. So I'm deciding between the 2. But this new iPhone is like, is too big for the tripod. So forgive me if it keep, going every which way. But okay, so after step number 2, step number 3, after the preparation has started, you want to make sure like you're taking all reporting all of your income and taking all of your deductions. That is very, very important. Now, the income piece, I find that to be pretty easy. It's the deduction piece that challenges everybody. It's the deductions piece. And again, guys, that's totally predicated off of how good your bookkeeping was last year. Okay. Step number 4, after that return is done, you're going to review it. And I'm not talking about just getting that PDF and looking like, look right, and you just signing off and being done. Because I know some of my past clients have sent me back signed forms in 5 minutes. You cannot review a tax return in 5 minutes, especially if you have a business. So we're going to talk about that too when the time comes. After reviewing your tax return, we're going to audit proof your tax return. We're going to audit proof it. We're going to make sure everything, you have all the substantiating documents for all of your material tax positions. In case you get audited, it can be like a slam dunk. You can get them what you need and move on because you've already prepared it. You've already audit proofed your return. Okay. Step number 6 is, do you have a refund or do you owe tax? And we'll talk about installment agreements or rolling over your tax refund to the next year as prepaid taxes, right? And then step number 7 is retaining those tax documents. You got to keep them documents for at least 3 years because IRS has 3 years from when you file your tax return to come audit you. So you want to keep everything. So if they come asking questions, you got exactly what they need to prove out what you're reporting, okay? Now, let's get into step number 1, gathering documents and financial data. Number 1 is pretty self-explanatory, y'all. Gathering your financial data. What I'm talking about is all of the financial data from your beauty business, right? Hopefully y'all had bookkeeping. Hopefully you had bookkeeping in 2020. If you did not, I do have a mini course on how to get your books together for tax season. Okay? That link is the 3rd link in my bio. The reason why you want to get it together yourself is because it's gonna cost you extra if you go to a tax professional and need them to go through your bank statements and merchant account statements and PayPal, all of that. If they got to go through all that, they're going to charge you more. And even if they don't charge you more, you kind of want to build your own P&L so that when they do get done preparing your taxes, you got something to check the taxes against. Okay? You do not want to just trust, your tax professional. Don't get me wrong, they should be legitimate enough for you to be able to trust them, but don't trust them enough not to trust their work. You should be able to be like, okay, I made, $35K this year. You should be able to see that on your P&L and then see where it is on the tax return. And that goes for the expenses as well. Okay? So that's why you want to get yourself together first. Again, I have a resource for you. If you need a resource to help you go through your stuff and build a P&L on your own, that's going to be the 3rd link in my bio. Okay? But that's one of the parts of gathering your data. Get all your business's financial data together, preferably a profit and loss statement. That's 1 page showing gross revenue that you earned in 2020 and then all of the business expenses you incurred and then that final net profit number. You want 1 page, slide it to that tax professional and be done. Walk up in there like you got it all together. Okay. Some of the other documents, though, that you may need, guys, and I say this because I know most of you that I've talked to and met so far, you're pretty multifaceted. You got a lot going on, right? So maybe like your spouse has a business also. You own a home. You got kids. They going to childcare, so you're paying childcare. Maybe you got unemployment because you were furloughed or shut down in 2020 sometime. You got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to go through some example forms that you may be getting in the mail or already have gotten in the mail. All right. So this first one is obvious, a W-2, right? If you had a job and they took out federal and state taxes or you were classified as an employee, you're going to be looking for Form W-2s. Form 1099s. One of the new forms this year, y'all, was the Form NEC, non-employment compensation. And so you may be getting Form 1099 NECs. The miscellaneous is still existent. So you may get miscellaneous as well. 1099 miscellaneous, MISC. 1099K. 1099K, y'all, this is the 1099 you would get from like Stripe or PayPal, right? These payment processors that collect money from you and then give it to you. 1099K. 1099 INT. This is interest. So like if you have your money in a bank and it's earning interest, you would get a 1099 INT. Dividend. You know, if y'all out here playing an investment game, Mackenzie, hi, good night. You're gonna go to bed, girl. It's all good. I feel you. I'm tired too. I'm gonna do that too when we get off. But thanks for stopping through. 1099 INT, that's for dividend. If you got some stocks out there and you earning dividend income, you're going to get a 1099 DIV for dividend. 1099G, this is the unemployment form, y'all. So if you got any unemployment from the state or the federal level, you're going to get a 1099G. Okay. Those are just some examples. It's so many forms in the 1099 series, but those are the most common. Okay. If you guys sold any assets, like if you sold a home, you're going to get a settlement document from the sale of that home. If you own a home and you're paying real estate taxes and mortgage interest, you're going to get a 1098 from the lender that gave you the capital to buy your home. If you are paid any tuition, you're going to get a 1098T. If you repaid any student loan interest, you're going to get a 1098. Okay. Some other things, if you gave any charitable contributions, so if you go to church and you give tithes, I believe they give you a statement once you reach a certain amount. Once you reach a certain amount, you'll probably get a statement from your church for all the tithes that you paid throughout the year. If you have your health insurance through the marketplace or through an employer, you're going to get a form 1095. It's going to be either A, B, or C. Okay? So either through the marketplace or through your employer, 1095 A, B, or C. Okay? If you are paying a daycare center or just somebody to keep your kids while you're working, I know daycare centers will give you a statement on how much you paid them and what their EIN number is so that you can claim that on your taxes to get a credit. Remember this, you can get the dependent care credit if you pay either a child care center or even if it's a person. It ain't gotta be a legit business child care center. It could just be a person. But if you're paying them, you know how much you're paying them and you know their EIN or SSN, you can claim that money and get a credit. Claim them. It does not have to be like a big conglomerate like daycare center. It could be a person. Okay. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them, while I'm talking. Don't wait. Don't wait to the end. Just drop them now. Let's see. If you guys have any ownership in any other businesses, you're gonna, and I mean like a partnership or an S corporation, you may be getting a Schedule K1 and you have to take that information and report it on your personal tax return. So for example, for my S corporations out there, for my partners out there, when you file the tax return for your business, for your partnership or your S corp, that those businesses are going to give you an Schedule K1. You got to take that form and report it with your 1040. I'm sure you know that already, but that is a reminder. There's an order to all of this. Okay, do the business partnership S corporation first, and then you can go ahead and file your personal. That's why the due dates are the way they are. I do have a question here. The Color Boss. Are there any systems that you recommend for booking? Are you meaning booking as in booking schedules? Because I don't personally have any self experience with that. But maybe if one of my other beautypreneurs here hear this question, maybe they can give you some tips on what scheduling software or scheduling system that they like that they use. Some of the ones I've heard of has been like Style Seats or Vagaro, even Acuity. Um, Oh, bookkeeping. Yes, I love QuickBooks. I use QuickBooks exclusively within my firm. QuickBooks has several levels of bookkeeping subscriptions you can purchase with them, starting from like literally like $15 a month, going all the way up depending on what you need for your business. But they got levels to cover every size of beauty business that's out there. So, and I use QuickBooks exclusively within my firm. I highly suggest you check them out. They always got a deal going on too. They always got some type of 50% off for 6 months or 50% off for a year. So look into QuickBooks. I think that you'll like that. Some other systems though is Xero, Xero, or Wave, or FreshBooks. And there are a couple others, but those are like the top ones I consistently see clients using and being happy with. Again, I use QuickBooks exclusively within my firm. Okay, here's two things that beautypreneurs forget when it comes to tax time. This is some data I want you guys to keep in mind to gather so that you don't forget. You can take this as a deduction. Number one, home office deduction. Now I know you're probably like, okay, what data do I need to take home office deduction? No problem, Color Boss. I like the way you spell your name too. I think that's very unique. What was I talking about? Yes, home office deduction. What information do you need for home office deduction? This is literally all of y'all personal expenses that you incur for your living space, guys. So like if you own a home, this is your mortgage. If you rent an apartment or a house, this is your rent. This is everything you pay for utilities. This is like if you do landscaping, snow removal, if you got a security system, if you separately pay for like any water, gas, electric, anything like that. This is even like the internet, okay? Gather all of your living space expenses, because this is going to happen when you start getting your tax return prepared. The tax professional, hopefully that's me, but I'm going to ask you, okay, how big is the space that you work in when you work on things related to your business? And let's say, for example, you say me, oh, it's 20% of my entire house. Well, then I'm going to take all of those expenses that you paid during the whole year of 2020, and I'm going to multiply by 20%, and we're going to take that as a home office deduction on your tax return. Okay. And there's another method you can use. But I've seen that, especially for folks with bigger homes, or not necessarily bigger homes, but living in higher cost of living areas, doing it the way I just described to you usually yields the bigger home office deduction. So when you're gathering data, do not forget to look into all of the expenses you paid in 2020 for your home so that you can get that home office deduction. Okay. Now for all of y'all, if y'all run a loss, remember, still do the home office deduction, because even if you can't take advantage of it this year, it can roll over to next year. And then the second most forgotten about piece of data, right? And because you forget about gathering the data, you forget about taking it as a deduction, is mileage. Mileage, guys. Mileage. Anytime you travel for business purposes, that is tax deductible. And so like, even if you don't know, like, oh, I didn't keep mileage for 2020, just try to reconstruct it. Like if you know you regularly go to the same Starbucks to meet up with clients or coaches or whatever, just go ahead and I was going to say MapQuest. See how old I am? MapQuest. Ain't been on MapQuest in a minute. Go ahead and Google Map the distance from your home to the Starbucks. Or if you know you go to the same beauty supply store for supplies, or the same Walmart, or the same Target for supplies, or whatever, Just go ahead and Google map the distance between your home and these common places you always go, and do an estimate. Ain't nothing wrong with like doing an estimate. This was a perfect segue into the next part of this live. I want to make sure you guys know that you are able to do. I do have a question over here on Facebook. What bank would I be able to open a business account with no charges, no minimum? U.S. Bank. I don't know where you're located. Hopefully, wherever you are, there is lots of U.S. banks, but I would suggest U.S. Bank. There is no minimum to open a business bank account for U.S. Bank, and there is no minimum to keep it either. And then the monthly costs are very, very low. I think maybe even non-existent. I don't think they have like monthly maintenance costs for business bank accounts, but try US Bank. I think Chase is very favorable as well, not as favorable as US Bank, but I think they are small business friendly. And then Bank of America. The reason why I'm putting out these bigger banks is because like it's just easier to put your money wherever you go. Like if you're traveling or something and you just need to get some out of ATM real quick, if it's a large national bank, you'll be able to get to your money versus if it was a credit union. So no shade on the credit union stuff. So yes, perfect segue into my next part of this live, and it is about reconstructing documents. Reconstructing documents. Okay, so here's a common theme that I'm seeing with beautypreneurs. A common theme is, okay, well, I lost the receipt, so I'm not going to take it as a deduction on my tax return. And I want to challenge that. I want to challenge that thinking this year, guys, because number one, you're not required to have every single receipt for everything. I mean, they would like you to. It would be great to, right? But we know you can lose paper. You can lose paper. Paper gets lost. Paper gets destroyed. So in that case, does that mean you can't take the deduction? No, that's not what that means at all. If you lose a receipt, you have no idea where the substantiating document, what I mean by substantiate is like any document like a receipt that supports, where you bought it from, how much you spent, when was it, and how it's connected to your business. If you don't have that exactly to a T, you still can take it as a deduction on your tax return, okay? You incurred the expense. You earned the income, even if you don't have the documents to prove it. During tax preparation time, you are allowed to make estimates. You are allowed to make estimates for income earned and expenses incurred, especially when those estimates are based off of real experiences and real events, okay? The IRS must allow the business owner to deduct business expenses, even if you don't have everything to back it up. Now, where am I coming from? Am I pulling this out the sky or what? No, I'm not. I swear to you. If any of you are new to me, you haven't heard me say this before, I spent the first 8 years of my career as an IRS revenue agent, as an IRS auditor. Okay. And so I know from like real life practical experience that you do not have to have every single receipt for every expense. And if you know that you incurred the expense, it's based off real experience and events, you can still take it. So let me give you an example. Let me think of an example. Okay, let's say, for example, you go to a beauty supply store within your neighborhood, right? Or you go physically walk into a brick and mortar space, and they give you a paper receipt when you purchase things. And you didn't keep up with the receipts. You did not keep up with the receipts. Okay? If you know that you spend, I don't know, about $50 to $100 or every time you go, and you go every 2 weeks, can you use that to kind of compute or estimate how much you should report for supplies on your tax return? Absolutely. Especially if when you go, you use your business bank account card. And so you go to your bank statement and you see it there. Even though it doesn't show it's for your business, even though it doesn't show exactly what you bought, right? You still see how much you go and on average how much you spend. So you estimate in your mind how much you spent on supplies. at this establishment throughout the year. You can totally do that. You can totally do that. Okay. So do not pass up on expenses just because you can't find every single receipt. Now, what doesn't this work for? Because everything with the IRS, there's an exception. So this does not work for what I call the fun expenses. What are fun expenses? Fun expenses are computers, cars, phones, boats, um, fun expenses like meals and drinks, and just events overall. Those things like that. Those are fun expenses. So you cannot use this for that. Now, does that mean you have to have every single receipt? No, not necessarily. It just means you have to have two pieces of support and not just your testimony. So maybe if we use our same example, we're going into a store local to where we live, and that's where we buy technology equipment, right? You buy technology equipment because you produce a lot of content to kind of advertise your business and your services or your products. So you buy, webcams and USB cords and laptops, and you're buying all this miscellaneous production equipment. And you're doing this by just walking into the store. You didn't keep the receipts. Well, I mean, you have the objects there, right? You can research how much they cost. You have the transaction in your bank statement, right? You can show and create a narrative and a case around what you bought and how you use it for your business. And then on top of that, using the same example I just gave, you can show an auditor, here's all the content I produce with all these things. And that shows the connection to your business. So get creative, but do not take a deduction just because you can't find an expense. Just be creative in building your business case and estimate how much that expense would have cost by looking at, bank statements and merchant account statements or even credit card statements or what have you. But do not, again, y'all, I repeat, do not pass up on deductions because you don't have receipts, because there is tax law that supports that you can still take the deduction even if you don't have receipts. Okay, I do have a question here from Skin Theory. How you doing? Are LLC taxes and personal taxes done together? It depends. It depends. So if you're LLC and you are a single owner and you have not made any tax deductions to be in a corporation, yes, they are done together. You will file your taxes on Schedule C with your Form 1040. Now, LLC folks, if you have made an election to be a corporation, you need to file your business activity on that corporation's tax return. For example, if you made a tax election to be an S Corp or S Corporation, you will file on Form 1120S. Or if you're just a normal C Corporation, you'll file on Form 1120. But again, you would have had to make a special election to be able to be a corporation. If you know you ain't found no other paperwork, all you did was go get LLC, you're reporting on Schedule C, and you are the only owner. You are reporting on Schedule C of your 1040. Now, if it's more than one of y'all, you're a partnership, and you're going to file on Form 1065. I hope that answered your question. If it did, you let me know. Anybody else, if y'all got questions, now is the time to drop them, because I have gotten through all of my material, and I hope gathering your data and your documents, I hope that has kind of cleared some things up. Because like I said, that's half the battle. Like, people spend weeks and weeks gathering their stuff before they, able to give it to me for me to start tax prep. Couple of updates while I'm waiting for folks to get their questions out and get their comments out. Couple of updates. Okay, number one, again, guys, if you need help getting together a profit and loss, okay, because I remember I told you guys you don't want to walk in there with no manila folder full of bank statements and receipts, okay? No boxes of receipts. We're going to get it together this year, okay? So if you need help getting a profit and loss together, I do have a mini course. It is the third link in my, nope, not third link. It's the first link. It's the first link in my bio. Check out that first link in my bio. That mini class is going to help you get your books together for tax season. Secondly, the tools I'm using in the mini class, you also get as well. You'll get the template that I'm using to build your profit and loss statement, and you'll be able to use that for tax season. Secondly, if you all, let's say, you got all your stuff, you're ready to rock and roll, you're ready to get your tax return prepared, hit that third link in my bio. Go ahead and set up a 15-minute call with me. I can give you a quote on tax prep services, and we can start, getting that tax return filed. The first tax return due date is only 3 weeks away. For my S corporations and my partnerships, March 15th. Hopefully you have an extension filed by now. I hope you filed an extension by now, because that due date is in 3 weeks. So it is on and popping, y'all. Y'all know to be here sooner than later. So if you are interested in me preparing your tax returns, go ahead and hit that third link in my bio. And then my final update, and this is the most, I'm very, very proud of this, but my final update is, guys, I am going to be a speaker, kind of like a trainer in Spa Strong's Triple Threat membership. Their membership enrollment is happening right now. It's going to go through Sunday, and it is their Triple Threat monthly membership. It's only $47. $47 to be coached by, Melissa and Royal Ellis of Spa Strong is an incredible opportunity. One thing that I am finding very interesting when I'm meeting new breedpreneurs is how many of you all try to go at this alone. You try to go at your empire and making this dream come true. You try to do it alone. This is not the time to be doing anything alone, y'all. Y'all have resources at your fingertips. There's so many resources these days. So if you're not at a point where you're doing one-on-one coaching, at a minimum, you need to be in Spa Strong's Triple Threat membership. And enrollment is happening right now through Sunday. It's only $47. Check it out. It's the second link in my bio. To get this phenomenal coaching from Melissa and Royal Ellis of Spa Strong. Okay, I do have a question here. So what is the best way to form your company if you're a small business owner, local sole proprietor? Okay, so I'm thinking, are you referring to what entity structure should you be? Or, so yeah, I'm thinking that's where you're getting to. So I'm going to say this. A local proprietorship is just simply like you woke up one day and decided to start a business, which is fine. But at a minimum, guys, at a minimum, I recommend you to go get an LLC. Now, I know some people are like, oh, I don't want to get an LLC because then you have to pay these fees. Okay. ER Spa, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but tell me what state you're located in. Tell me what state. That's very important, because I know that some state LLC fees are higher than others. And that really what turns people off about the LLC, because then they have to pay the LLC fee, and then they have to pay it the annual report fee every single year. You're in Texas. So it's kind of, it is. Yeah. It's kind of pricey in Texas. It is. But you know what I say? It's unfortunate that it's pricey in some states like Texas, like California, but it's the cost of doing business. The LLC is very important because it guards your personal assets from being at risk if someone came to sue you for anything, right? If somebody brought litigation to you, they can sue you and go after not only your business assets, but also your personal, unless you have an LLC. LLC puts the shield in front of your personal stuff, so they can't even think about trying to go after your personal stuff. So at a minimum, get an LLC. We can talk about converting to a corporation once you get to a net profit level of about 30 to 40K. But for now, you're just starting, at least an LLC. At least an LLC. I hope that answered your question. Let me know if it didn't, though. Okay, again, guys, check out that second link in my bio, Spa Strong's Triple Threat membership, Triple Threat monthly membership, no contract. You can cancel anytime. But going at it alone is not the way to go. I see a clear difference between beautypreneurs that's doing everything by themselves. Hey, Thursday, can't wait to meet you. I see a clear difference between those who are going at building their beauty business, their beauty empires. Nice, Spot Strong. See them, they're my partners right there. But there's a clear difference between going at building your beauty business and your beauty empire alone and when you have trusted partners. Okay. And so what I mean by trusted partners is I mean like, partnering with a financial advisor, right? So, your tax accountants, your CPAs, I am both. Maybe even a financial planner if you want to get into the investment retirement strategy. A business coach that knows your industry, such as Spa Strong. And even when like you're building your creative assets, right? Your website design, right? Or advertising or content creation, it's only so much you're going to get by going down these Google rabbit holes. It's only so much you're going to do. Can you get somewhere? Yeah, you can get somewhere. It's not like when you're going from level to level, right? And you're trying to just like really level up and reach a new height in your business. It's going to need outside partnerships that's going to help you and aid you along the way. Right? So I think what this monthly membership Spa Strong has is an incredible opportunity. Like in the case you're not ready for like one-on-one, that can be like a hefty investment. Group coaching and group membership is the way to go. And I believe you should check out Spa Strong to get that education you need to take your business to the next level. So if you've ever asked yourself, what prices should I be charging, right? What prices should I be charging? That's like, to me, that's like always like my number one. When I'm seeing financials and I'm seeing you run a net loss all the time, I'm like, why are you running a loss? It's because you have a pricing issue. Oh, Richard. I like Richard too. Me and Richard, we have a partnership coming up in March, and you guys will see that as well. But one really, really big thing I really like about Spa Strong's monthly membership is the focus really on pricing. And that's just one facet of their coaching program. But pricing, from my perspective, really important, because when I'm looking at the financials, I'm like, you've made up two things. You've made all this money, but you're running a loss. That means you have an overhead issue, or your product or service ain't even profitable from a gross profit perspective because your pricing is off for your services. And that's some of the things that you'll kind of uncover as you get into, working with a coach. Working with a coach is very important. So again, check out that second link in my bio, the Spa Strong Triple Threat membership. The enrollment is open through Sunday. It's only $47. That's a very small investment for how much return on investment you're going to get from getting coaching for your business. So I don't see any more questions left, y'all. I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all, I'm even lost. What is it, Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday. I'm going to let y'all go. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I am going to come back on later at the end of the week to talk to you guys, see how you're going, see how you're doing, see if you have any questions. But do three things for me. One, if you need a profit and loss, check out the first link in my bio. Do not go to your tax pro this year with a folder full of envelopes and bank statements. Don't do it. Build your profit and loss. Okay? Number two, check out Spa Strong's membership. Even if you don't have an answer for yourself right away, you owe it to yourself and your business just to check out the coaching opportunity. And then three, have you done your tax return yet? Have you? Have you done it yet? If you haven't, hit that third link in my bio so you and I can get on a call briefly and talk about tax preparation services by me. Okay? I hope you guys found this helpful. I'll be coming to you for the rest of the steps of the 7 steps to slay your taxes in the coming weeks. And I know you find it useful, y'all. That's what I do. That's what I aim to do. I aim to please and I aim to help. So have a great rest of your night, and I will see you later on this week. Bye.